Somebody damages your property. Hey, you have ability to sue them and recover for that damage, don't you? Well, let's take a look at this week's case. Involves a real couple, Thomas and Nikita Smith. Thomas and Nikita Smith were a homeless couple in Detroit, Michigan. Well, they found an abandoned house and they moved into the house, and essentially they're living there as squatters. Well, at one point in time, the Detroit Police Department raided the building, and as they did so, there were several dogs there, 3 dogs there. 2 of them were pit bulls, and 2 of them charged the police officers, and the police officers retaliated by shooting and killing the dogs. So, Thomas and Nikita Smith then brought claim against the Detroit Police Department, contending that they, the police department, had killed their dogs and had damaged them by depriving them of the use of these dogs, property that they had owned. So the case went forward to a federal district court. And there, the arguments were made. On behalf of the police department, interestingly, the argument was made, we find no evidence that these dogs were ever licensed. We don't find any evidence that you, Thomas and Nikita Smith, owned these dogs. Well, Thomas and Nikita Smith argued through their attorneys, well, while we didn't license the dogs, we did have constructive possession of them. They were giving us comfort, solace, support, protection, and by killing these dogs, you have deprived us of their use. Police department said, wait a second. Even though you may have had constructive possession, you did not have legal possession. Since you didn't have legal possession, since you never licensed these dogs, there's no evidence they were your dogs and you can't bring claim. Okay, so the federal district court heard these 2 arguments and then rendered a decision and came away saying, police department, you are right, you are right. And in this instance, there is no evidence that you, Thomas and Nikita Smith, owned these dogs. And the judge then analogizes to another case involving a submachine gun, which had been seized by officers. And in that instance, the guy who had constructive possession of it argued, hey, you can't take my gun. They argued the gun was not licensed, and accordingly the court found since it wasn't licensed, there was no evidence of ownership, therefore there was no claim for its loss. So what do we learn from this case? A very simple thing. We learn a very simple thing. And that is, if you're going to bring claim for loss of property or damage done to your property, you need to be able to basically get the first base, and that first base is show that you own that property and that it was property that was of service to you and that it was damaged by someone else due to their actions, and accordingly you are entitled to recovery for that damage. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All right. Bringing you this case and bringing cases every week so you understand how the law works. I'm David Allen.